Hey everyone, it is Scholarship Saturday. This is Leitra Davis with Lily's Chronicles. I am sitting here in my living room doing hair day, okay? Hair day. So you're getting 2 for 1 today. You're getting Scholarship Saturday and you are also getting hair day. I will not be discussing at length what hair day is, but for those that know, hair day is when you have to do things for your hair all day for it to look on fleek. Even though fleek is out now, fleek is still not a thing right now, but for me it still is, so that's cool. So that's why I got deep conditioner going on right now, so it's cool. But today is Scholarship Saturday, and if you don't know what Scholarship Saturday is, I love helping people get free money for their higher education. It is what I love to do. I enjoy it so much. I have 3 adult children, and we set a goal for them not to be in lifelong debt with loans. We hate student loans. We don't do student loans as a practice. We want to make sure that their education is paid for in full. So we worked really hard in the past and in current. My youngest is still in school, and so my oldest has her graduate. She has graduated with a master's, and then my other son, he is currently taking a break from school, but when he starts back, everything is going to be paid for because that's what we do. And then my youngest daughter, she is now in her sophomore year, and her school is 100% paid for. So if you want to know some things that we've talked about in the past, please refer back to previous episodes of Scholarship Saturday and you'll be able to find that content. Today we are going to be talking about taxes and banks as it pertains to scholarships. What does that mean for you, and some tips and tricks, not necessarily tricks, but just information, so that way you don't get trapped by not knowing some things that you should know, or be able to facilitate accurately according to the knowledge that you have. And so this information that I've acquired has been because I had to go through it myself, trial and error, and now that I've learned, I love helping other people. So you may want to talk about, what does taxes have to do with scholarships for those that are parents and or guardians, or those that are students? Why would there be any information about why is there some scholarships that are tax-free, and why are there some scholarships that are taxable? So let me first start by saying this. You need to make sure that you know which scholarships are tax-free and which scholarships are taxable. Very important. Tax-free scholarships would be those that have anything to do with direct education. So your tuition, your room and board as it pertains to being on campus or an on-campus sponsored facility or dorm space, if that is off campus. Your books that are related to your direct education, your food, anything that's pertaining to your living expenses that is directly in coalition with your education. Those would be tax-free scholarships, okay, or grants or fellowships. Now, those that are not tax-free, those would be incidental expenses that are indirectly related to your education. So that would include things such as if you have to travel because of your specific field of study, that would not be something that would include a tax-free scholarship. That expense would be something that is an incidental. So it may have something to do with your education, but because it's being used for traveling, it's not included. If there are any books that are additional, that are not directly related to the specific field of study that you are going to school for, then that would not be considered a tax-free expense. So you need to make sure that you go over to, you can go to, TurboTax. They have good information as to which scholarship are taxable because of incidental expenses. You can also find great information on FastWeb as well as irs.gov. These are great resources that you can find information about tax-free and taxable scholarships, fellowships, or grants. You may want to wonder, why would I apply to any scholarship that I'm required to list on my tax return as a taxable scholarship? Well, look at it this way. If you win the scholarship, it's still more money than what you would have had if you had not had applied and won it, right? So the small amount of taxes, if you do get a scholarship that's taxable, the small amount that you'll need to list on your tax returns is minimal compared to not having that money at all and then spending a lifetime paying back a student loan, right? So it's still worth applying for a scholarship, grant, or fellowship that may possibly be taxable, because again, it's more money than you would have had in the first place, right? So please don't let that be a deterrent for you in terms of applying to taxable scholarships. Another way for you to know whether a scholarship is taxable or not is to contact the scholarship facilitator directly and ask them whether or not their scholarship is a tax-free scholarship or is it a taxable scholarship. Ask them directly. They are required by law to make that information known to you, okay? So what you'll need to know is, if you do a tax-free scholarship, you are not required to report that to the government, the IRS, but you will be required to make sure that the school that you have been accepted to, you need to make sure that they know. Do not be deceptive. Don't lie. Don't try to hide information, because every time you try to hide, the light is exposed, okay? And you will get found out sooner or later. So don't do that. Don't be deceptive and try to get over on the school because you don't want to disclose the scholarships that you've been winning, okay? Go ahead and be honest and let them know. And if it affects your package that they provide for you, please negotiate to let them know, hey, I might be winning some other scholarships outside of this school package. However, I would still need you to please keep it where it is or increase it. You can negotiate your school package, okay? You do need to know that. But so you need to make sure that they know that you've been winning outside scholarships, okay? That's important. But those tax-free scholarships are not required to be reported to the IRS. If you do win a taxable scholarship, that does need to be reported to the IRS as well as the school. And what you would do if you are the parent of a minor that does not make more than $2,000 a year, then that would be placed on your taxes, parents or guardians, okay? If you are the student and you happen to be working and you are making above a certain amount per year, then you then are required to list that on your tax submissions if no one is claiming you as a dependent, okay? Very important for you to know. And so if you are filling out your taxes, parents and or student, then on your 1040 or your 1040A or your 1040EZ form, you would find income, the line where it's asking you for your income. That is where you would place the amount of the scholarship that's taxable on there. Okay, very, very important that you please list that on there. And again, the amount of taxes they take off of it is minimum compared to a lifelong student loan that you would have to be paying back, okay? So that's where you would place on either one of those three forms, either the 1040A, the 1040, or the 1040 1040EZ. And if it's not on the W-2, if those taxable scholarships are not on the W-2, then on those tax forms, the 1040, 1040A, or 1040EZ, you would just place SCH next to the amount of those scholarships, so that way they know that that is a taxable scholarship, okay? And also, if you can, there are free services from tax preparers, tax companies. There are free services. If you're really confused about that process, you can call them and utilize their free service. Sometimes it depends on how detailed the information you're asking. Sometimes there may be a fee from a tax service or a CPA, but again, it's worth paying it if it's going to keep you out of IRS trouble, okay? Really, really important. So invest in that and know what you need to know so that way you stay safe financially, okay? As it pertains to banks, when you win a scholarship, if you are between the ages, roughly between 16 and 23 to 24, there are a lot of banks that will give you a student account. And please put your scholarship winnings, if the scholarship facilitator gives you a live check, or if they deposit it to you directly and not send it to the school. Some scholarship facilitators only send it to the school that you've been approved to, right? But there are still some scholarship facilitators who will either give you a live check, or they will want your banking routing information and all that, and they will deposit it directly into that account. So make sure that you have a bank that does not charge you a bunch of fees. So ask the bank that you're interested in using specifically and solely for your scholarship winnings about whether or not that account has fees, monthly maintenance fees. You want to stay away from those kind of banks, okay? As a student, you don't need to be paying no monthly maintenance fee for them holding your scholarship money, okay? We're in it to win it, correct? So don't go to a bank that has monthly maintenance fees on a student account. Also, check out banks, shop around. There are certain banks that allow interest-bearing student accounts, okay? So that's preferable. That is something that you want to do. You want interest to accrue on your student account, bank account, okay? So see about those. Also, ask about any ATM fees if you use non-approved ATMs with your debit card. Make sure that it is as low as possible, or if there's some free ones, okay? So you have to check and investigate with the type of bank that you're interested in holding your scholarship money. And let me just say this right here. This is a caveat to this. If you are winning scholarship money, do not use your scholarship money for any other purpose other than your scholarship, your tuition. Do not use your scholarship money to go out and hang out with your friends, your boys, your girls, and y'all have some type of fun out at some type of amusement park and all that kind of stuff. Don't do that. Only use your scholarship money for what? Your education, your tuition, the required expenses for your education. Because again, if anything is discovered that you are using and misappropriating those funds for anything other than what it was intended for, that can come back on you and hurt you severely. And it's just dishonest, okay? You don't want your name out there when it comes to potential new scholarships for other years, and your name is out there as a person who is not using that money for what it was originally intended for, okay? So again, when you do find a bank, like I said, that does not have monthly maintenance fees, and also you have easy access to the money, and it's a easy process for them to send money to the school for your monthly tuition fee balance. Just an easy type of account. If there's all this confusion about the account and you have to go through all kinds of hoops and no, we don't want hoops and loops. We want ease and we want peace. So you want to make sure a bank account is easy to access, easy to use. It has a robust package and product and services so you can look at your money quickly, preferably a bank that has a robust mobile app so you can check your account quickly, or you can set notifications to yourself when any activity is happening on that account. When the money is withdrawn from the account, you may get a text or a notification saying that this happened, so you can just be aware that everything is happening, okay? And while I have that at that point, when you are paying your monthly tuition balance, keep record of that, okay? Excellent records is important in your banking, your statements. Either you do e-statements or you do paper statements. Most banks will give you some type of discount if you choose to go with an e-statement as opposed to receiving a paper statement. But either way, keep immaculate records. Keep your records straight, because sometimes school financial departments sometimes get it wrong and they come back and say, oh, you owe such and such and such. And when you keep good records, you can look back and you can say, oh, no. Here is my statement from my bank. It shows that the payment was made to the school on such and such day, such and such in this amount. And then they'll have to go back to their records and say, oh, we're so sorry, we made a mistake. It happens sometimes, okay? It does happen sometimes. So make sure that you're keeping excellent records with your banking account, with your scholarships, and just in general, right? Also keep really great records of the scholarships that are taxable and those that are tax-free. Again, to make sure that you just have all of the things you need in a row, so that way when tax season comes, you don't have to go back scrounging around and looking, in the corner of the dorm room to see if everything is in one space, one place, easily accessible, so you can keep track and do what you need to do, okay? I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you need more information, you can go to the irs.gov, you can go to TurboTax, you can go to FastWeb. They all have excellent information regarding those topics. Blessings. Have a phenomenal day. Bye-bye. Oh, join me next Saturday where we'll talk about scholarship sanity. Scholarship sanity. Okay? Bye-bye.